Alright guys, let me just say this. Before we get into this video, there is going to indeed be Devil May Cry 5 combat in the background for this video. And I just wanted to let you guys know that this game right here, Devil May Cry Peak of Combat, you have to stay away from it. You have to stay away from this game. I'm telling you guys, before this video officially starts, I'm going to be talking a whole lot of shit about DMC Peak of Combat. Or should I say Devil May Cry Mid of Asbat, okay? This game is nowhere near as good as the game that you're seeing in the background right now. Now I know that this is a console game. This is a PlayStation 5 game, okay? But DMC Peak of Combat is a gacha. And, you know, I do make some comparisons between the two, but let's be completely real. Not only have they completely and utterly just destroyed how the characters sound, destroyed how the characters tend to look in game, aside from like the clothing and stuff, things are just extremely off with this game. I don't know. This game just seems like an extreme cash grab. So take what I say with a grain of salt if you really do enjoy this game. But by all means, just keep in mind, I have my opinions about how this game should have been, what this game should be, and I'm gonna be quite honest with you, this is not it, Chief, okay? You guys need to stay away from this game, alright? That's all I'm gonna say. Just, by all means, please, just, half of these screenshots that you see, they're just promotional material art. It's not even things that you can actually do in-game. Anyway, I'm getting pissed off again, so, yeah, you guys enjoy the video, have some fun. Let me just say that I love Devil May Cry. Okay, I love it. I absolutely adore the series. I love all of Devil May Cry's, except for the DMC reboot. Nobody should like the DMC reboot. But I have to say that I was severely disappointed for the first time in a long time when I decided to boot up Devil May Cry Mid of Asbat. Oh, no. I'm sorry. The Peak of Combat. Okay? This has gotta be the absolute worst. The absolute worst DMC game I have ever played genuinely in my life. Now, the combat isn't impossibly bad, okay? It's not so terribly bad. It's just nowhere near what you would be expecting from a Devil May Cry. I mean, Devil May Cry is one of the best looking combat games that you could get your hands on. DMC 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5. Well, let's not talk about too much. Is outstanding. The amount of combos you can pull off, the amount of bait and switch you can do. And speaking of bait and switch, it just kind of reminds me of the whole summon 100 pulls or whatever, and then you pay $60, which it doesn't tell you until you're done summoning. But anyway, I should have known that making Devil May Cry into a gacha game would have been the worst decision of all time. Genuinely. Like, they could have done this so much better, but they didn't. The game itself could have been so much better, but it's not. And I don't think it ever will get better unless they change like 90% of how the game actually is, how the game actually performs. Now, don't even get me started on the piss poor voice acting, the absolutely horrible, almost AI generated sounding script that they have been playing, as well as the characters just seeming like hollow shells of what they are, of what they were. The characters genuinely feel so utterly displaced from what the actual characters are supposed to be that you can barely even recognize them anymore. I was sitting here looking at the Dante model and I was thinking to myself, hey, something about this seems wrong. I was listening to Lady's voice and I was like, this seems very, very much incredibly wrong. With autopathing, content being gatekept by egregiously predatory monetary tactics. It's crazy. And don't even get me started on the costs of actually, making polls and stuff. I may be spoiled, from the whole 150 and 160, cost for single polls that, the 180 is kind of putting me off. And now, before you get on my case with PGR having 250 for a single poll, may I remind you that Punishing Gray Raven decides to throw their characters at you without you actually worrying about trying to get enough currency to get said characters, because 9 times out of 10 when you start making wishes for characters, you're going to either just get 5 stars and 6 stars shoved down your throat, whether it be for weapons or for characters. Let's be completely real, guys. Let's be completely real. PGR can get away with the more higher up in price wishes because they want to absolutely fill your ass with characters. Anyway, I've also got to say that the whole combat system is like okay for DMC Peak of Combat. It's okay. There's nothing else for me to say. It's just okay. I mean, you're completely and utterly restricted. About how much of the combos you can actually do. You're completely and utterly just only having the mainline gacha formula of just doing one combo and switching characters to make said combo stronger, when in reality DMC fans are so used to actually being able to do a bunch of crazy shit with their combos with only one character without having to worry about the whole switching system. If we wanted to play a game with combat from a character that does combos, one combo, skills, and then switch characters, we'll go to Honkai Impact. We'll go to Genshin Impact. We'll go to games like Punishing Gray Raven. We'll play those games. We'll play Futuring Wuthering Waves. We'll play those games. When it comes to DMC, I don't think the DMC community would even want that for a system in their game. I don't even think the DMC community, I'm a part of said DMC community, I don't even think that I would prefer playing Devil May Cry Peak of Combat over Devil May Cry Reboot. I would rather sit there and play the reboot, which honestly probably is a whole lot more fun, and at least I can get a chuckle out of, what's actually going on in the script and on screen, than me laughing at the embarrassment so far for the opening of Devil May Cry. Now, I know that this video opening up, and if you've even gotten this far, there are probably going to be people that are just going to be like, oh, well, the game just came out. Why are you hating on the game? The game just came out. If the game just came out, then you got to get the game a chance. Because you don't get the game a chance, then how the game ever going to pop up? There's a whole bunch of games out there that ain't out of their way to go, because they still go fake and it go good. Shut up. All right? This game had a lot of time. All right? This game had an IP that was goated. This game had the makings. It had all the pieces to be a genuinely good game. And by the way, I was at first, when I first heard of Devil May Cry Peak of Combat, I thought it was going to be a pay one time and play forever game, in which it was going to be a game where you just simply are able to unlock the characters through multiple different arena fighter like missions and stuff like that, and you just play the game and you fight. And then upon discovering that it was going to be a gacha game, I was a little bit hesitant, because gacha games, in reality, I don't actually like gacha game systems. I have a lot more fun playing other games like actual Devil May Cry 5, Baldur's Gate, and Spider-Man and stuff like that. I genuinely have a lot more fun playing MMORPGs than I do playing certain gachas. So when I heard that it was going to be a gacha game, I was I was understandably wary. I was like, okay, so this is going to either go one of two ways, in which it did, and unfortunately it went one way. It was either going to be an amazing game and was going to be something fun to play on the side, or it was going to end up being a gacha game that has a whole bunch of immensely predatory practices in order to try to get you to spend so much and so much and so much more money so that you can enjoy the game. And on top of everything, the game doesn't even make sense. The game doesn't even keep my attention. I can't even play the game long enough for me to actually enjoy going to the chapters. I don't even know how the chapters are gatekept. Like what are the requirements for moving on to the next chapter? I've just been autopathing. And yes, you heard me right. I've been autopathing through levels because that's a system that they have. And I ran around certain areas in chapter 1. I've ran around certain areas. I was looking for stuff, and it's an extremely linear game. The DMC series is an extremely linear game in general, but you would at least expect them to at least, like how they did with, maybe it's because we're spoiled, right? Maybe it's because we're spoiled. We played DMC 3, one of the greatest Devil May Cries of all time. I personally, unfortunately, had to take the backseat of watching somebody play. I only had the opportunity to play it once, but we're spoiled from games like Devil May Cry 3, Devil May Cry 4, especially Devil May Cry 5, which is a Devil May Cry that I have sank a lot of hours into, and I am just absolutely appalled at the fact that we don't have the exploration opportunities that we have in a DMC game. I know there's probably gonna be some people that was like, yo, I don't know what you were expecting. I don't know what you were expecting, yo. I don't know what you was expecting, some kind of cool ass game, you ain't gonna get that shit. It get a gacha game. How much you expecting from a gacha game? Well, my dear viewer who may be thinking that or typing that as we speak, I raise you PGR. I raise you the gameplay of the future Withering Waves. I raise you Honkai Impact 3rd. I raise you all these games that have, even though it's repeat combo, great and at least enticing combat systems that, in my personal opinion, even though it's the DMC IP, is much more entertaining than what we got in this game. Gacha games can be good, but this is just bad. And I am not even going to go out of my way and show gameplay. If you wanna look at gameplay of this, go watch Sticks or MMO Byte or however it is you want to call them. Go watch gameplay from people who actually want to put the gameplay of DMC Peak of Combat on their channel, because you're not going to be seeing any form of DMC Peak of Combat on this channel. The only thing that you're going to see, the only thing that you're going to experience is me playing Devil May Cry 5 in the background probably, or Punishing Grey Raven. It's most likely gonna be Punishing Grey Raven, because I'm not gonna lie, porting footage from my PS5 is just a needlessly complicated thing, and I just am not in the mood to get into it. So basically, all you need to do, stay away from this steaming pile of hot fucking gorilla shit, and we'll all be happy. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about it because it kind of really pissed me off when I was playing it, and I'm probably going to end up deleting it because, there's no reason for me to continue playing it. So, anyway, hope you guys are enjoying your day. Just a short little video of me being just a little bit annoyed. Genuinely, have a good day and genuinely stay away from that game. I love you guys. All right, peace.